Hey, so today we're going to be multiplying and dividing with decimals, similar to adding and subtracting decimals, but with when we get to multiplying, we are not going to line up the decimals, we instead line up the numbers. And then when we get to dividing, we're going to use long division. Um, when we do our multiplication, and I want you to write a note about this, I want you to put the longest number on top. When I say longest, I don't necessarily mean biggest, just like 12 is bigger than 4. I mean which one has more numbers in it. That one will go on top. So if I look at number 1, I want to put my longest number on top. So my 0.092 is going to go on top. And then times 12.3. So we do not line up the decimals here. We line up the numbers. And I'm going to start by multiplying 3 by all of my top numbers, and then I'll move to 2 and then 1. So 3 times 2 is 6. Oops. 3 times 9 is 27, so I put 7, carry the 2. 3 times 0 is 0, and then I'm going to add the 2. So 0 plus 2 is 2. And then cross that off because I'm not going to need it anymore. 3 times 0 is 0. Now when I go to multiply 2 by everything, I need a placeholder down here, so I'm going to put placeholder there, saying I'm done with a 3. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 9 is 18, so 8 carry the 1. And then 2 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. 2 times 0 is 0. Now that I'm done with the 2, I'm moving on to 1, so I'm going to put 2 placeholders here just to say that I'm done with this 2 and 3. 1 times 2 is 2, 1 times 9 is 9, 1 times 0 is 0, and 1 times 0 is 0. So I've multiplied all these bottom numbers by all of the top numbers, so now I'm going to add these. So 6 plus 0 plus 0 is 6. 7 plus 4 plus 0 is 11, so put a 1, carry your 1. 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 8 is 11, plus 2 is 13, so put 3, carry the 1. 1 plus 0 is 1, plus 1 is 2, plus 9 is 11, so 1, carry the 1. 1 plus 0 is 1, 0 plus nothing, 0. Now the next thing is I had some decimals up here, so I need to figure out where's the decimal going to go down here. So I'm going to look at this top number. There are 3 numbers after the decimal, and then 1 here. So that's a total of 4 decimal places. So I'm just going to write a note reminding myself. So there are 3 there, 1 here, so 3 plus 1 is 4. So when I go down here, I'm going to start at the end and move over 4 places. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the answer is 1.1316. Now some people might say, what about the 0? You can put the 0 there, but anytime there's a 0 out in the front, it really doesn't affect anything, so you can get rid of it. Okay, number 2, doing the same thing. Both of these have the same amount of digits, so it doesn't matter what order you put it in. This has a comma to say that it's in the thousands, but when I go to work it out, I don't want to use that comma in my work because I don't want it to look like a decimal. So I'm going to put 2, 3, 1, 2 on top and 0.091 on bottom. And then start with multiplying everything by this 1. So 1 times 2 is 2, 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 3, 3, 1 times 2 is 2. Moving down, put my placeholder. 9 times 2 is 18, carry the 1. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 1 is 10, carry the 1. 9 times 3 is 27, plus 1 is 28, carry the 2. 9 times 2 is 18, plus 2 is 20. Now the next part is just 0 times everything, so it's not going to affect anything. So if you wanted to put some zeros there, you can, but you don't actually need to. So I'm going to go ahead and add these and add down. 2 plus 0 is 2, 1 plus 8 is 9, 3 plus 0 3, 2 plus 8 is 10, 1 plus 0 is 1, and 2. So now I need to figure out where my decimal is going to go. So no decimals here, but I had 3 here, so 3 decimals. So start at the end, move it over 1, 2, 3 times to get 210.392. Okay, we're going to move down to division. So we're going to use long division. So number 3, we always put the first number on the inside and the bottom number, or the second number on the outside. And it's not going to let me write right there. Okay, that should be 0.31. Now the problem is we can't have a decimal right here, so we need to get rid of it by moving the decimal over. But when we do that to the outside, we also have to do it to the inside. So move that decimal over twice to get 0, 0. So I'm actually solving 31 on the outside and 2734200 on the inside. So a rule with this is you cannot have a decimal on the outside, but you can have it on the inside. So we'll see more examples of that later. So I need to look, 31 does not go into 2. 31 does not go into 27, so I'm going to put some zeros there. 31 does go into 273. Now, I do not want you to use a calculator on this. So if you don't know how many times 31 goes into 273, figure it out. Off to the side, we're going to start with maybe 31 times 3. And that's going to be 93. So I can probably go bigger than that. Could try 31 times 6, which is 186. Could go bigger than that. 31 times 7 is 217, getting closer. 31 times 8 is 248. So let's see if 9 would work. 31 times 9 would be 279. So that's too big. So 8 is what works. So I'm going to put 8. That was 248, so I'm going to write 248. Then we subtract those. So I'm going to do 273 minus 248, so I need to borrow. And 13 minus 8 is 5. 6 minus 4 is 2, and 2 minus 2 is 0. Then I'm going to bring down this 4. So I need to figure out how many times is 31 going to 254. Well, I already did the work over here. I know it's 8 again, because 279 is too big. So 31 times 8 was 248. So subtract those. And that is going to give me, I need to borrow. 14 minus 8 is 6. 4 minus 4 is 0. 2 minus 2 is 0. Bring down this 2. 31 and 62. So let's see. 31 times 2 is 62. Cool. So that's 2. Now, we have a remainder of 0, but we still have these zeros here. So I'm going to bring them down. 31 goes into 0 0 times. And bring down this last 0. 31 goes into 0 again 0 times. So we have a remainder of 0. So again, these two zeros in the front, they don't really mean anything. So our final answer is going to be 88200. And if you want to put a comma there, you can. Just make sure it doesn't look like a decimal. Okay, number 4, we have 63 on the outside and 233.1 on the inside. So remember, we cannot have a decimal on the outside, but we can have it on the inside, so we're fine. We don't need to move any decimals over. So 63 doesn't go into 2. 63 doesn't go into 23. So I need to figure out how many times is 63 going into 233. So again, I'm going to go off to this side and figure this out. I could start with maybe 63 times 3, which is 189. Let's try 63 times 4. 252. So 4 was too big. So 3 worked. And we got 189. Subtract. I'm going to borrow this 3. So 13 minus 9 is 4. Borrow from here. 12 minus 8 is 4. 1 minus 1 is 0. Now I have this decimal here. I'm going to bring it up and bring down this 1. And then 63 into 441. So 63 times 4 was 252. Let's try 63 times 7. So that's 1, 2, 6. 7 times 6 is 42, plus 2 is 44. Cool, that worked perfectly. So that went in 7 times. You have a remainder of 0. Again, these zeros in the front don't matter, so your answer is 3.7. Okay, we're going to go on to the next page. So back to multiplication, so pay attention to your signs. So our longest number on top, that's messy, times 37. 7 times 1 is 7, 7 times 2, 14. 7 times 3 is 21, plus 1 is 22. 7 times 4 is 28, plus 2 is 30. Cross out those numbers. Put 0 for my placeholder. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 4, 12. Okay, and we're going to add those. So that's 7. 4 plus 3 is 7. 2 plus 6 is 8. 0 plus 9 is 9. 3 plus 2 is 5. And bring down that 1. So now look back at your problem. There's only one decimal place, so I just need to move over one time to get my final answer, 15987.7. Okay, number 6. We have 0.4 on the outside and 4.92 on the inside. Okay, here I have a decimal on the outside, which I don't want. So I need to move that over, which means I need to move that over. Notice we moved it over the exact same number of times. Don't just move it to get rid of it on the inside. Move it the same amount of times. So here that changes into a 4. And this changes into a 49.2. 4 goes into 4 one time. So subtract. 4 minus 4 is 0. Bring down the 9. 4 goes into 9 twice. 4 times 2 is 8. Subtract to get 1. Bring down your 2. Now before I do that, I'm going to bring up this decimal so I don't forget about it. 4 goes into 12 3 times. And I don't have a remainder, so my answer is 12.3. Now on the back of either the previous page or this page, I want you to write out another problem to show you what would happen if you do have a remainder. There's a few things you could do with this remainder. I'm going to show you what I want you to do. So the problem I want you to do is 272 divided by 3. Notice there's no decimals, but that's okay because I'm just showing you what I want you to do with the remainder. So 272 on the inside, 3 on the outside. 3 doesn't go into 2, but 3 does go into 27 9 times. I'm going to bring down this 2. 3 doesn't go into 2, so I'm going to put a 0. Oops. Now, I don't have anything else to bring down. Now, some people, you might say, well, you could put a decimal and add a 0 and bring it down. That's fine, you could do that. But what I want you to do here is just take your remainder, which was a 2. That becomes your numerator. Then 3 is going to become your denominator. So again, just take your remainder, make it the top. Take the number you were dividing by, make it the bottom, and that's your final answer. Which is much quicker, much easier than turning it into a decimal. It's actually more accurate. It's more correct in a way. Because if we were to put a decimal, we would just keep going and going and going because it would happen to be a repeating decimal, which we'll talk about more later. But this is just an easy solution that works 100% of the time. So if you have any questions about that, please feel free to email me.